Courageous love now. Courageous love now. Courageous love now. Happy Sunday. I record this right now in presence of the past, of the present, and of the future. This glorious Sunday sunshine, filling up the space with light, taking it into my heart and all of my being, as I've spent the last hour and a half dancing, laughing, singing, crying, opening my heart and my wounds and giving myself love. How does that look when we talk about self-love? I've had many people respond to what self-love is as though it's something to do with sexuality. Could be, but it's so many things. And if you have any space inside you that holds a blockage, a hurt, a wound, suffering, sadness, grief, constriction of flow and light, any shadow, any darkness, well then you have the possibility to give yourself love, to heal those areas inside you that are holding on, are creating belief systems, are creating stagnation, that are creating ideas and thought forms that do not serve your highest purpose and place here and now. And the investigation that I did today was waking up to write in my dream journal, and I thought, oh, I'll put some music on to just support me because I had a hard time to recall my dreams. And I opened the blinds and the sun was shining in, and I became in the present moment. And I went into one paragraph and then got lost in the music and decided to just meditate and feel. And what I needed more than anything was to feel what was going on inside me without thinking, remembering, or recalling, but just feeling the present moment. And it led me down a path of connecting with my inner child. What does that look like? Visualizing little me, perhaps memories coming up of moments of my childhood, and embracing her, looking at her in the eyes. And getting in touch with where she needed help, that help was not there. Where she needed to be heard, where she wasn't. To feel her and the areas in which she needed to be healed and supported and loved, in which she wasn't. And at the same time, feeling the Divine Mother, the Earth Mother, the Holy Mother, the light of the Mother, embracing me here and now in the present. So going into my past in my imagination, holding space for little Lara, for whatever was to come up, and to hold her in my arms and let her know that I love her and I'm here for her, and it's okay, she doesn't need to be afraid. Because that little Lara is a piece of me, of the big Lara, of the present Lara. And the wounds that were not healed and tucked away and left behind all those years ago still exist somewhere inside me. Physiologically, neurologically, spiritually, energetically. And sometimes when we feel grief or sadness, we don't know why. It's potentially maybe picked up from somebody else. Maybe it's from the past. Maybe it's not yours. But that investigation is an act of self-love, to go inwards and feel the energy that is constricting you from being fully you. We all want to be our full, whole-hearted, authentic, and real selves. But what does that look like? Authentic. Whole. Yeah. That's a word I've been holding on to because I have recognized in a lot of the acts and movements in my present day, whether that be with other people, whether that be on a video that I record or my podcast or in conversation, that there's a piece of me that's not present. There's a piece of me that's missing from the dialogue, from the conversation. Where is it? What happened to it? Where did she go? What's the missing piece? And I discovered through my own searching that it was my authenticity, which encompasses a lot. So digging, healing, crying, laughing, singing, dancing, my way into finding that missing piece. Meditating, being still and feeling it. And as the world is in a process of do, go, that act of slowing down and listening within, being present with what is right here, right now, is one of the greatest acts of self-love that you can give yourself. Taking time, because time is an illusion. Because when you're able to connect with your little self in a moment of time, you heal her. And that's the past. It doesn't exist except for here and here. So we walk around with all these sufferings thinking, I can't change the past, it is what it is. But you can change it inside yourself. You can go back and parent that inner child. Hear her. Feel her. Let her cry. Let her get angry. Let her be heard. And that possibility and moment of expression of that inner place inside you allows you to heal, to step into your whole self. And to bring her into the now. Sometimes my inner child just wants to dance, or to laugh, or to sing, or to cry. But today was a visualization day. And wow, I got to see her in many moments that she was frozen in time, that she was stuck. Because she didn't know what to do with all her feelings, where to go with it, how to express it. And she froze. And those little moments of being frozen, stuck, trapped, are still in me. Because little Lara is still in me. So embracing her, loving her, protecting her, and telling her not to be afraid. That I am always there to protect her. And that I do not need to be afraid. Because I am always here to listen and to protect me and to be authentic with what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling it, when I'm feeling it, and not to numb it out, not to brush it aside, not to discard it, not to underestimate, but to prioritize what I'm feeling as I'm feeling it and allow it space to express itself. That is an act of self-love. And we have so many models of belief systems and shapes and forms of how we are supposed to be, how we should act, how we should feel, how we should respond, how we should show up in our physical being. I've lived a life of learning how to be in my body through dance, learning how to be in my voice through singing, how to be in my emotion through acting. I've got to stretch that Play-Doh of my creative being in many directions, but being me, allowing the needing to fit into something that could be acceptable, could be loved. That's where my inner child had struggled, because I always wanted to be accepted and to be loved. So telling her just to show up in whatever shape or form or fashion, whatever shadow or light shows up, it's okay. You are loved. And today, my biggest fear was being alone, was being left alone because of who I am. I'm sure that comes from my abandonment. And being able to acknowledge all that is with me. The places that I discovered at a very young age through my spirituality, to feel that I was not alone, because something showed up for me many times and made me feel safe and not alone and seen and heard And I built that connection with the unseen world, with my guides, my angels, God, Jesus, all that which is there in the unseen world. We have many names for it. Nature, Mother Earth. She's brought me so many gifts, having traveled all over the world. And she's always been there for me. So, in my fear of being alone, not being seen, not being heard, my friends, family, people that are in passing, that I have held in my inner and outer circles throughout my many years of traveling around the world. Some have stuck and stayed, and some have gone. Many have gone. And that constant moving has often left me alone, feeling lonely, without connection. So my resurfacing my spiritual connection and allowing a place of empowerment and connection to arise instead of being abandoned in victimhood of the inner child reliving her loss of connection with parents, family, friends. Embracing fear, deep fear. Because I think in essence, it's like, I don't want to die alone. I don't want to be alone without someone to love and to love me in return. With someone to listen and be listened to. With someone to share and laugh and cry. I think that's ultimately all of our biggest fears. And to embrace that fear and acknowledge where it was birthed. To hold space for it to exist. Not be afraid of the fear itself, because we know that there is nothing to be afraid of except fear itself. So recognizing your biggest fears empowers you. It is the biggest act of self-love. So this day, this sun day, I honor my inner child and I hold her like a precious, precious sliver of light from the infinite one in my arms. I see her, I understand her, I listen to her. And I know that I myself am held in the arms of the Divine Mother. And I am never alone. In all of my imperfections. In my wish to be authentic. The times when I'm the most authentic, I'm usually crying. The times that I feel the most authentic, I'm usually dancing or singing or acting. But to hold that space in just a conversation without feeling like I need to perform has been hard for me. That I need to prove something or show something or be right or look pretty. So I surrender all of that, all of the masks, all of the weapons and the armor, and I bare my soul, my authentic me, to myself. I'd say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be alone. Ever. Because you are never, ever, ever alone. From death do us part. This departing of the physical self and back to the one, back to source, God, and all it is. I think the feeling of being alone is that I'm not connected enough to that source. The more you connect to what you truly are outside of this flesh suit, the more you feel connection. And you realize you're never alone. So my prayer today is that you allow yourself to feel your fears and to embrace it and hold it until the point that you feel like you're breaking in half, because it hurts so much to even acknowledge that it's there. And then surrender and bow to it and honor it. Say thank you for showing up and showing yourself. That I don't run away from you always feeling like I don't want to acknowledge it because it hurts too much. And to sit through that hurt and love it so deeply, passionately. And how do you love it? By sitting with it and allowing it to show up and exist inside you. To feel all of the feelings that it embodies. That in itself is scary. Feel all the feelings. Being with it. Being with your feelings. Happy Sunday, beautiful people. I am you, you are me, and we are one. That's my authentic self speaking. Because I know the little child inside you is only wanting to be seen and to be heard, and I believe that each one of us have that fear and that hurt and that pain and that suffering of not being seen and not being heard, not being loved, being left alone. So, give yourself an act of self-love and be where there is no time. past, present, and future exist simultaneously, and you allow it to move through you like the sun shining through this window and into my being and filling me up. I hope that I can shine a little sliver of me into your world and fill you up with the reminder of self-love. Take the time to see the self that is right in front of you. Search your mind for a reason that you get yourself so down and blue. You'll feel your soul if you allow it looking straight back at you. Just take the time, take the time, take the time. Namaste.
Hello, all you beautiful listeners. It is that time for a little shameless self-promotion. If you've enjoyed this podcast or any of the previous podcasts I have recorded, I would be so grateful if you could subscribe and rate and possibly review down below. So whatever your podcast listening app is, there is usually an area where you can leave a review of what you thought. Even just a few words can make a huge difference. And as I am new to podcasting, it will make even a bigger difference to just get the word out there and also see what you thought. Thanks so much for your support and keep on listening.